What's up, everybody? I'm Dan.
And I'm Jasmine.
Welcome back to Speaking Through the Gray, episode number 22. And we have a special guest here today, our good friend, Mailon Muñoz.
There you go. Said it right.
Wait,
Yay!
let me...
Oh, no.
Oh. Oh, man.
He is from the Dominican Republic, and we actually met many years ago, over 10 years ago.
Over 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, we're old.
Yeah, we're both getting old. He's far younger than I am. But we actually have a picture on the screen. This was...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a very long time ago.
I'm
That's
not
our
gonna lie,
buddy Bert.
we both look really young.
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
You do.
I also look significantly skinnier.
You said it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I like that picture. I like that picture.
Dude, that was such a fun trip. But yeah, so I met him in Dominican Republic when I went to do a missions trip. My second and third trip, you were a translator and helped me be able to communicate with people down there, and we had a really good time. And and so years later, randomly I see a post on Facebook, and it's a picture of a local like mural on a wall. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I was like, is he visiting? Because I knew you were in New York at one point. We'll get into all of that. But all of a sudden I was like, that's Wilkes-Barre. And I'm like, dude, are you in town? He's like, I live in Wilkes-Barre.
It's like, oh, you live down the street from us. Wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. So, so it's exciting to finally have you on. Excited for this. So go ahead, Jasmine, kick it off.
So, are you single?
I am single.
Really?
That's not in the notes.
It was in my mental
I was going
notes.
to turn. I'm like, I don't think I saw that question
I'm
over
going to
there.
go rogue as many times as I want
Oh,
to.
sounds good.
Funny.
I like that, though. I like that.
Side note, the first time I went to Peru, I was 12 years old. And then I went back when I was 21, I think I went back.
Yeah.
And the same question came up every time.
Every time.
To where at one point I knew what the Spanish translation was before someone translated. They'd be like, oh, are you single? And I'm like, they trying to match me up there.
Yes, sir.
So-
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I have no one to match you up with. I just wanted to know.
Okay, thank you.
So we went from 65 subscribers to now we actually have over 600 subscribers.
Let's go.
So, you're single and ready to mingle.
So for our over 600 subscribers, which are actually mostly in Kenya, which is a long story.
That's funny. That's
But
funny.
if you're not in Kenya and you're in the U.S., boy, do we have the man for you.
How old are you?
I am 27. years
Okay.
old.
So, what was it like growing up in the DR?
It was interesting, and I can say that because now I am here. You know, well, I grew up with my mom and my grandma. They were the ones who raised me. My dad lived in the States my whole life, so my mom and my grandma raised me. But like he had to live here and work here. I would see him like probably like once, twice a year. But it was that, went to school. I was pretty advanced for my age. So they kind of like skipped a grade for me.
Oh, wow.
And because of that, I ended up graduating like high school like really early. Like I was 15 when I graduated high school.
Wow.
And I think, when I think about it now, I can go back and know like it was a God thing, because the timing of me like graduating high school and then moving to a different city, which was Barahona, and then like started learning English. Because when I did, that's another story.
So wait, where were you before Battle?
Okay, so my hometown in the Dominican is called Jimani. Jimani is in the border with Haiti. So we have 5 cities in the Dominican that are in the border with Haiti.
You don't think that they're together. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, but
Unless you go there, you
Unless you
often
go.
don't realize. Yeah.
you often, but like I was born and raised right in the border with Haiti. I've been to Haiti, and my the town that I was born in is the closest to Haiti's capital.
Okay.
It's called Port-au-Prince. So I'm like from where I was born. I am like an hour away from like the capital of Haiti.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was that. My mom is a nurse, but she also did like we have this thing where like my mom would buy stuff to sell to Haitians.
Okay.
And so I did that too. Like when we were off from school as a kid, I would go like, hey, take me. I want to help and earn some money.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I did just growing up. Yeah, my mom
Nice.
and my grandma.
That's awesome.
This is a side note, but do Haitians speak Spanish?
If they move to like most of the time, if they move to the Dominican, they have to learn it. Now I have Haitian friends, and this is what they told me. In Haiti, by the time you graduate high school, you're supposed to know French, English, and Creole.
Oh, wow.
So Creole is like a patois, like a.
Is it like Spanish and French, kind of? More
Yes and
French.
no, yes. But it's like French is like more formal, and they teach you that in the school. But then Creole is that what you speak at home. At home.
So it's almost like a slang.
Yes.
Like
Okay.
their national slang.
Yes, in a way.
Wow.
I wish we
I
had
don't
it in
think-
America where we can learn other languages and not just English.
Yeah, I feel like every other country.
When they told me that, I'm like,
No, we didn't do that.
I wish they did that in the DR.
Yeah.
Where by the time we graduated high school, we knew more than one
Yeah.
language. That would have been nice.
That would have been nice.
Well, that was the weird part when we went to Kenya 2 years ago. I think, 2 years ago. It was weird because they speak Swahili, but all of them speak English for the most
Yeah,
part.
because they had to
So
learn
it was so weird going to a
Yeah.
foreign country and not needing a translator.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
It was nice.
whoa, people understand me here.
I believe it was nice. I believe it was
was.
nice. Yeah.
As much as I missed having you by my side.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So with growing up in the DR, especially when you transitioned to Barahona and then getting involved with like Pastor Fleming's church, were you directly involved with his church?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So my best friend helped me like get into this English course. That's when I started learning. He used to go to that church.
Okay.
Now before I moved, I think I went like 3 months prior to me moving, and he's like, "Hey, I want you to check out my church." So I went there, and the moment I walked into the church, like they were already like singing worship, and I'm like, "Oof, I like it here."
Yeah.
I like it here. And then I knew what to pray for because I knew I was gonna move at some point to Barahona. But in my mind, I was like, God, I would love to move there mainly because of the church. Not even because I was supposed to go to college there or start the English course, but because I wanted to be, in a church where I knew I was gonna grow even more.
Yeah. So that's where you learned English was in Barahona?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and that's an interesting story. Can I share that?
Yeah. That was our next question. So.
Okay, perfect. So I live in Himani. Himani is 2 hours away from Barahona, right?
Okay.
And then I had already graduated high school. I'm waiting to start college, but again, I graduated when I was 15. Now that was a weird case in the country to graduate that early. So I didn't even have like here like you're underage, you can get like an ID or like a permit if you're driving.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get that because I wasn't 16.
Oh.
So when I gathered all my documents to go enroll in college, they told me like, hey, just because you're gonna turn 16 before the semester starts, we're gonna allow you to do that. But the moment you turn 16, get your ID and come bring it, right? Now I'm doing all that. And then they still have it up until this year. They have this English course what they call English Immersion Program, right?
Yeah.
The way it works is that from January to November, you have to go to class every day, Monday through Friday, for 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
4 hours. You don't have vacation. You don't get like Easter vacation or summer vacation. You don't get none of that.
Wow.
It's straight January to November. Anyways, I knew about it, but I knew that there were requirements that I didn't meet, and one of them was to be 18 or older. Right
Okay.
now, when I was close to moving to Barahona, my best friend, his name is Ernie. He texted me one day. I remember getting home. He texted me. He said, "Hey, I need you to pay attention." I'm like, "Okay." And then he says, they open like 30 spots because they're trying to like open another like 2 classrooms for the English course. They're gonna start like in a week or so. And I asked the coordinator about it. I told him your case. I told them because there were 2 requirements that they needed the most. You had to be a college student, and you had to be 18 or older. I explained the case to him, and I said, "You are a college student, but you're 16." And the guy said, "I mean, if he's a college student, I think we can work something out." Now he said, "But you have to move tomorrow."
Oh.
Like he's telling me this today. It's like 2 p.m. and he's telling me in order for like if you want to make it, you have to move to Barahona tomorrow.
Wow.
Now he says that, and at that point I'm living with my grandma, and I go like I find my grandma. I'm like, "Hey, Ernie texted me. There's this opportunity for me to go to this English course, whatever. I would love to go. What do I do?" And my grandma. I remember my grandma saying, "If you need to go, go." And then I have to go ask my mom, and I'm like, "Hey, mom, like Ernie texted me. This is happening, but I will have to move tomorrow to Barahona." And she said the same thing. She's like, "If you need to go, go." Right?
Wow.
Now I go get like I already turned 16, and I get my ID. I get all my paperwork that my friend told me I needed, and then I do all of that, and I get home. I will never forget. I get home, and I sit in bed. I'm tired about all the things I'm doing. I already packed my bag. Whatever. I'm leaving next day. I already called some of my cousins that live there and talked to their mom and were like, "Hey, this is happening. Is there any way I can go and like live with you for for this long? They said, yeah, everything is working out. I get home, I sit in my bed, and there's few times in my life where I know God has spoken to me, where I can tell you God spoke to me. That was one of them. Because as soon as I sat in bed, I heard this voice. I'm 16, but I heard this voice. I heard this voice saying, "You asked your grandma and you asked your mom, but did you ask me?"
Oh,
And for some reason,
that'll preach.
And like it's so crazy because like for some reason that should have been encouraging, but that discouraged me.
Yeah.
Because at that point I'm
what
like,
if he says
Are
no?
you
no,
questioning my motive?
that was my thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I got the paperwork, I got my backpack, I'm ready.
Yeah.
But he was like, you asked your grandma, you asked your mom, but did you ask me?
Wow.
And this is what I did, and I will never forget because it was a moment that changed my life. I knelt right there and there. I knelt down, and I'm like, okay, I'm tired. So this is how I started my prayer.
Tired.
Okay, God, this is how I started my prayer. Okay, God, I'm tired, and I'm gonna go straight to the point. If this is my prayer, if in the purpose that you have in my life, whatever it is that I'm supposed to do in life, if it's not necessary for me to learn English, when I go tomorrow, there's only 30 spots open. And a lot of people want to get into it. When I go there tomorrow, it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter where I go. It doesn't matter who I meet. Close the door. Like, close the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know, like, if it's not necessary, why would I invest 11 months of my time doing that? And then I say, but if learning English is part of my purpose in this life, it doesn't matter what they do when I go tomorrow. It doesn't matter what I do or who I meet. When I go there, open the door. And that's it. I'm tired. Good night. Amen. that was my prayer. That's it. I'm tired. Good night. Amen.
Hold up. Side note, by the way,
Yeah.
most 16-year-olds, the only thing they think they hear from God is about a girl.
Honestly, like I was prepping for my Sweet 16. I did not
I'm trying to
graduate
think where I was.
Dumb.
Even as a pastor's kid at
Yeah.
16, I was like,
Yeah.
I was not at that level. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
No, and I know that was a God thing because again, this is one of the few times in my life where I can tell you God spoke to me.
Yeah.
So you know, like, okay, I'm tired. Amen. I go to bed, wake up next day 5 a.m, take a bus, 2 hours drive, get there, and like I met my friend Ernie, and he started taking me to the places I needed to go to the college to drop off my paperwork. I needed to go to the other place to drop off all the things. They're reading the things and they're like, "You're in college, but you're 16." Now I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I know, but I was told to bring my paperwork.
Yeah.
You know? And everything happened. And I'm telling you, Dan, that Jasmine, everything that I did that day, everything, even the money that I spent, every cent that I spent doing stuff, everything felt like it was orchestrated to happen. You know, everything felt like that. And then I'm accepted out of all those 30 people. I'm accepted one of them. I start going. My first 3 months, January, February, March, I understand nothing because this
so hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the way that they do it. From the first day, they speak to you in English. They don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
In my mind, I thought the first week they were gonna teach you some stuff like, "Hey, can I go use the restroom?" Stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was in my mind. Nah, from the first day.
Yeah.
Because they were telling you that's the name, English immersion.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be immersed, right?
Wow.
My first 3.5 months, it was frustrating because I didn't understand a word. And then April came. And then I started catching some things. And then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah, and then to like wrap this story up, by like July, they called like 6 of us to the office. Mind you, at that point, I'm understanding. I'm like able to hold a conversation now.
Nice.
And they called us and they say, "Hey, just letting you know, 6 of us. Some way, somehow, there's been like a mistake in the system, and none of you appear in the system. Like none of you show up in the system. For 6 months, we've been like giving you tests, giving you everything, grading you. None of you are in the system." And then the coordinator at that time, he was like, "Well, the best option we can give you is for us to like take you out now, and you guys can enroll again next year."
Oh no.
We've invested 7 months. Now, in that point, I was mad for a whole week with God. Not with that. I'm like, "Yo, I thought you brought me here. I thought you know." And I remember going to church, to Pastor Fleming's church, one of those nights, and they were preaching about Matthew 7, which says, "Ask and you shall be given," right? And again, I will not forget. And then I went home thinking about it, and I changed my prayer because my prayer was like, "I'm learning English, and you brought me here. Why are you taking me out now?" And then I switched my prayer. I said, "Hey, maybe 4 hours Monday through Friday that I'm dedicating to this. You need me to do something else,
Yeah.
right? You know, if it is so, then do what you need to do. I'm willing to do what you want me to do. But the Bible says that I should ask and I shall receive. So I'm asking you. I'm begging you. I'm
Not
learning.
just asking, you're begging.
I'm begging. I'm learning. I would love to graduate. Like I would love to finish this. I would love to see the results of it all. And then at the moment I switched my prayer, they called us like 3 days later. And then they said, like, we have good news and bad news. Good news is that we were able to fix two of you, like we were able to like bring them back into the system. And everybody's looking at each other like, who is the two? You know? And then I remember they mentioned the names and they were like, oh, so we fixed Ruth and Mailon. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh Lord. I got excited, but I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm not gonna get too excited. Yeah. Anyways, like long story short, they ended up like fixing the rest of them. Thank God nobody had to leave.
Yeah.
But I understood in that moment, like, God, like I'm willing to drop this, you know, to follow whatever it is that you have. But I think you brought me here. I think I'm learning because you want me to learn.
Yeah.
You know, and again, the fact that I'm having this conversation with you in English is, 10 years later, it's a sign that
Because I can't have it in Spanish.
Yeah.
God
We'd be
did not
struggling.
immerse me.
I know.
It's funny. Jasmine actually said, he does speak English, right? And I'm like, yes, because otherwise, how would we have this podcast?
Yeah, that would have been really interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to wrap it up with that.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
That's how I learned English.
Wonderful.
I know what's a God thing.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Dan and Jasmine here, and we just wanted to tell you about this amazing company called Disciple Threads. Jasmine's also wearing a shirt. I'm wearing a shirt, hat, tons of stickers on the back of the
I
computer.
don't have all that.
Yeah, well, we need to get another sticker pack,
Yeah,
which
clearly.
you can get at their website.
Disciplethreads.co.
Yes, and we have a promo code.
Which is STTG.
Yes. So if you're interested, they have amazing apparel if you want to wear your faith on your sleeves, literally, or on your shirts. On their website, they have amazing clothing. They have awesome stickers, anything where you want to wear your faith on your sleeves, be able to have gospel conversations. Even this hat is also Disciple Threads. I was able to have a conversation the other day where the verse reference on my hat was the exact verse I was having in the conversation. So amazing clothes, amazing company. Make sure to go use our promo code there for your discount code.
Yes.
Enjoy.
So when did you move to the USA?
I moved to the USA in March 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
My dad brought, as I said earlier, he lived here, my whole life basically. So he was able to bring me and my two siblings here.
Nice.
And we moved to New York.
Do you like it so far?
I do. When I first moved to New York, it was so funny. First of all, the first day I thought I was gonna die because I came from an 85-degree weather to a 36-degree weather.
Yeah.
And I remember our dad, like he the way he received us at the JFK airport was he brought 3 coats.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 coats. And then he's like, put this on, whatever. And we're close to the door and people are going out, whatever, and coming in. And he says, when the doors open, that taxi over there, run. And
He knows.
Yeah, I looked at my sister. I'm like,
Why are
what
we
do you mean
running?
run? Oh, the moment the doors open, I knew why we had to run. The cold just.
Oh, yeah.
It hits you.
It was bad.
Have you ever seen the movie Cool Runnings? It's a Jamaican bobsled team.
I don't think I.
Oh, it's a classic. I was about to say you're a little bit younger, so if you have Disney Plus, you have to go check it out. I'm pretty sure it's on there.
You
But
had to
there's
show
a
me
scene.
too.
Yeah. Wait, have you ever seen?
You had to show me.
Oh, okay, yeah. But there's a
old.
scene where they just get to wherever the Winter Olympics are, and the second the doors open, they all just stood there and just froze and like.
I can only
I think I've
imagine.
seen that. I've seen that.
And they're putting literally their like bags on top of them.
I am telling you, that was awesome. Then we ran and got into the car, and we're like, I thought I was gonna die.
So that was your first time experiencing
My
winter.
Yes.
Oh,
ever.
really?
Yeah, no, yeah. Because the Dominican weather is tropical. So we live in the Caribbean, and our weather is summer all year. It goes from like 80.
nice.
It's like 75, 85 all year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So 20 years of my life, that's all I
And then you
experienced.
just walked
And
into winter New York.
Winter New York, out of all the places. Yeah. So I do like it. And I'd like to real quick to New York because I like fast pace. and New York is really fast.
Where
So
in New York were you?
I was in the Bronx.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I lived in the Bronx, and but I used to work in Times Square. So
Oh.
yeah, which was really nice because it's like I see these places in movies.
Yeah.
My whole
Yeah,
life I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
these
yeah.
places in movies.
Yeah,
You know?
and now you're like
Yeah.
in
And
it. What'd you do in
Wow.
Times Square?
I was a boss boy in Olive Garden in Times Square.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's
incredibly.
super exciting.
Yeah, I still work for Olive Garden 7 years later.
Probably not as exciting as New York.
No, it's definitely it's
a little bit slower in Pennsylvania.
way slower when you compare it. Yes.
So, the story. Oh, I already kind of told the story of how I realized that you were actually in Northeast Pennsylvania, which
Yeah.
still blows my mind that we didn't realize we were living
I know.
right down the road from each other. But how did you ended up transitioning to Northeast PA
Yes.
because of your
My
your
friend,
sister?
my best friend Ernie. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the pandemic hit, right? They shut everything down in New York.
Yeah.
And then Olive Garden laid everybody off. Since we didn't know what the pandemic was gonna be, they were like, "Hey, we're just closing for like 3 weeks, right?"
Yeah.
It's been a month and I'm home. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So I'm talking with my friend Ernie, and he's like, "Hey, people are still working here in Wilkes-Barre. So if you want to," he said, "I can talk to my mom, and you can come and stay with us for a
Yeah.
little bit, work,
That's nice.
and then when everything opens back up, then you can go back to New York." That was the original plan, right?
Okay.
So I talked to my dad, I talked to my siblings, I moved to Wilkes-Barre, and I'm here for like 3 months, and nobody's calling me to go back. And then they say, like everything is shut down. That's when the pandemic is like fully,
Yeah.
And then I realized, hey, things are like cheaper here. Like
Yeah.
we could actually, because in New York we were paying a lot for rent for
my
a
gosh.
really, really small place for me, my 2 siblings, and my dad.
Yeah.
But then, like, with less than half of the money that we need to use in New York, we could rent a full house here,
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know if I want to go back to New York now,
Yeah.
So I was able to like stay here longer. Then I was able to buy my car because I need a car to move places here.
Definitely.
And then I did my first trip to New York in my car. And when I went there, I was like, yeah, I don't think I can come back to New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love the city. Like, if you're gonna come visit or just like go sightseeing, which I've done with a lot of my friends that want to go to New York, I take them like places. That, yes, 100%. But to go back and live there, I don't.
We have to go to New York with you.
Yeah.
That would be so much fun.
Let me know.
That
I
would be
can
such
take
a
you
great-
places. I can take you
We
places.
Yeah,
went for
yeah.
my 30th birthday, and I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, we definitely could never move here.
Yeah. We've thought about it. We were like, what if we did it for like a
For
year?
year, I'm still back and forth
It's
about it just to see
I don't know.
It's-
Well,
it's
we have a
different.
lot of like ministry hookups in like Brooklyn and different
Oh, I
places.
see,
So I
I
have
see.
friends out there.
Okay.
But yeah, it's God would really have to speak.
And that's
And I would make him
what I'm
check with
saying.
you first.
That's what I'm saying. It's like for me to move back, I need to have that experience where I know God has spoke to me because there's no way.
Yeah.
But I go there like a lot because
Yeah.
I've also got friends over there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Nice.
And before you go to the next question, so
Okay.
was it was almost a year ago, right? When did you get your citizenship?
In May last year.
Nice.
Yeah,
Hype,
yeah. I was like,
Oh, gosh.
yeah.
All right. Sorry, we
all
did
of
the
these
Dominican
things.
one. I wanted to put that in there as well. But
Yes.
yeah, no.
Did you have to take tests and all that?
With that, so I had to take civic test, which is where you had to
gosh.
memorize 100 questions about history and stuff like that. I did that. Then I was tested. Like she told me something out loud, and I had to like write it down.
Okay.
And then she said, "Okay, I need you to read what is in the screen." I did that, and then that was like pretty easy because like I spent months just memorizing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then she went to like, when you fill up the application to become a citizen, it's personal questions. So
Okay.
what I filled up, I was supposed to know, of course. And then she just started going over that. And thankfully,
That
I
sounds
passed.
stressful.
It's,
You could probably give me that test now and I fail.
But that's the thing. There's one guy that was running for president on the last run, and he was saying that like to be able to vote, everyone should have to pass that same civics test because it's like it gives you a little bit more ownership and like you understand what's
Yes.
going on. Like,
Yes.
But yeah, dude.
yeah, no, when I was memorizing that, I'm like, this is really interesting.
Yeah,
In my
yeah,
mind,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, this is interesting how all of this happened.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It
Heck
was
yeah.
pretty cool. Thank
Well,
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yay! You've been here for a while, but welcome.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you. Welcome as a citizen now. Yeah,
We should have put a little mini U.S. flag next to it.
That's so funny. Yeah. That's so funny. That's so funny. I love that.
So don't you play an instrument or no? Did I hear that from? Okay.
I actually do. Yeah. I actually play the acoustic guitar and I
nice.
play the keyboards. Yeah.
Cool. So how did you get plugged into a church? And Northeastern Pennsylvania.
So again, I gotta bring back my friend Ernie. He's really been involved in most of the biggest decisions in my life. So as I said, I was here for over a year, like 2020, the pandemic, all the way until like halfway of the 2021, and I had the opportunity to go to California to do Bible college. Now, when I was done there, he had already started going to a church here.
Yeah.
And when I moved back here, I'm like, hey, you're going to a church. I'm just gonna start going to that church, and that's what I did. And at that point, I moved like July, that year, 2023. And then at that point, I still didn't play the keyboards. But I knew like the church needed a keyboard player. I was like, hey, maybe I can learn. And then
you learned?
Yeah, you self-taught.
You just learned it.
So let's just recap. So childhood genius, self-taught piano player.
I wish I was a genius.
I had help to learning piano. I had help. I had a friend of mine actually calling me twice from the Dominican and FaceTime me twice a week to teach me how to play the keyboard. So I did have help.
The musicians in the DR, one of the guys was like really excited to show me like his guitar playing skills, and he was like, "Oh, you play?" And I'm like,
You're probably better than me.
I'm a worship leader. I know 10 chords tops. And then he's like, "Oh, here, let me," and then he'll.
They're in a different level.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So you got plugged in at a church, and that's LCBC,
That's
correct?
LCBC.
So that was pretty new when you moved back too, right?
Yes. Because I remember they had told me that they had just transitioned from the church that they used to be, and I started going there, and I'm still going there. I'm part of the worship team now, and that's basically what I do most of the week. Every week. If I'm in town, because my job has a lot of traveling on that, but when I'm in town, I'm normally serving in the worship team.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. I have somebody, a friend of mine, who actually just recently started going there. Yeah. And I was like, you probably know my friend who's the piano player.
Is that Dan?
Yeah, Dan.
Because I saw Dan on Sunday, and he's like, hey, I know somebody that you know. I'm like, who? In my mind, I'm like, first of all, this is the first time I'm meeting you.
Yeah.
But like, who do you know? And he's like, Dan Gray. I'm like, you know Dan Gray? I'm like, you know Dan Gray?
And do you know who he is too?
Yeah, he told me the honor of a Biden, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so...
okay,
Dan
things are
Shishin.
connecting.
Yeah. I'm like, and then I told him the same story. I'm like, if you knew that he saw this picture and then we met in a bar to catch up.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's crazy full circle moment. He was actually at our men's prayer breakfast on Saturday.
No, that's why he told me. That's why he told me, because I just saw him on Sunday.
Yeah. So I told him, I said, keep an eye out for him and go say what's up to him.
He did. Yeah, he did.
That's awesome.
I'm like, you know Dan Gray? I'm like, Dan knows Dan. You know?
All of Dan's united.
Yes, that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. So one of the questions we have, what are the big differences between Dominican church or like Latin church and the U.S. evangelical church?
There's a lot of difference.
I was about to say.
And honestly, I've been here for 7 years, and the more I see it, I always come up to this. Is like there's a lot of cultural differences, that come into the church. So I think, and you've been in the DR, like services go for long. It's not so with us. It's a matter of like letting God do, what,
not as structured, letting it just be.
Yeah. Which, if I'm honest with you, I understand that side of it, but at the same time, for me, and I think that's one of the main reasons why I am in an American church. I do lean more towards like the organized part, the structured part of the American church. So I would say there's a lot of like structure in the American church. That's a huge and probably one of the main differences between the American evangelical church and the Latin or Dominican church. So there's churches over there that they've learned like how to have more structure, but they will still, like, if they have to go over 30 minutes, an hour, they will do that. Which is something that normally I don't see here. There's this plan and there's this timing, there's this time for things, and that's how it goes. So I would say that's one of the main differences with that. Also, like, I would say even the way some things are taught, because again, there's a lot of cultural things. And I learned that when I moved here, is like there's a lot of things that in the DR or in the Latin church are thought to be a sin that the American church doesn't perceive as a sin. Does that make any sense? And like I'll bring up like tattoos or like drinking. There's you've been like
I don't. You might have been. Do you remember the medical clinic we were at where Edward and I were like playing music,
Yes,
and the one
yes.
lady came up and like chastised me about my
Yeah,
tattoos.
yes. Yeah, I will never forget that.
And then Edward just started speaking Spanish really fast, and I'm like, "Oh shoot!" I was like, "What is he saying?"
yeah,
to her?
yeah. Oh, you know, he was bringing Bible to her. You know,
Yeah, big time.
yeah.
yeah.
I feel like you just explained the black church in America, though.
Yeah.
Have you been to an African American church?
I don't think I have. Tell me about it.
And I feel like it's the same. Well, it depends on which one you go to. I grew up in more like of a structured church.
Yeah.
But it's also the same where like it's kind of looser with time. Like it could run
Yes.
past an hour or two.
Yes.
We're just letting God
Yes.
do him.
Yes.
And then same with the tattoos and the drinking. It's like, I feel like that's the same.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. It's a culture thing as
It
well.
is,
It
I
really
would say,
depends.
yeah, it is a cultural thing. And again, like when I moved here, you know, and again, I went for 2 years to Bible college in California. That really opened up my eyes when I went there. Because, and this is something I've learned. So a lot of the Latin churches and like Hispanic churches, to put it that way, there's a lot of like doctrine or like men's teaching. You know, so like I was taught this in the church. This is what I'm going to teach. But unfortunately, and I learned that a lot of that is not even biblical.
Yeah.
Which when I go to like most of American churches, something I've seen is you at least have to have like seminary to be a pastor here.
Yeah.
You know, which is something you don't really see much in at least in the Dominican. And I can speak on behalf of that because like there's a lot of pastors. Yes, they're called by God. I'm not saying they're not, but there's not a lot of preparation or education before they jump into ministry, you know? And because of that, a lot of the preaching comes from experience or things that they have gone through more than the biblical stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like
Very interesting.
one of my things is God can teach you something, but you don't have to turn that into a doctrine for me as a church. You know,
Like personal conviction versus or like
that's where
biblical conviction.
That's where I go.
Yeah.
There is a biblical conviction that applies to everybody. Like we all have to submit to that.
Yes.
But there are some convictions that only apply to Dan Gray or Jasmine Gray and for Mailon. You know.
Yeah.
So one of my things when I share with my friends at work that are not Christians or people who ask me like about my faith and stuff like that, I just tell them like, hey, I'm just letting you know there is things that Mailon cannot do.
Yeah.
You know, because that's a conviction from the Holy Spirit, from God to me.
Yeah.
I will not try to impose that to you.
Yeah.
Right? Now, there is this. This is what the Bible says about this. You nor me can do this. You know what I'm saying? I let them know.
I had to learn that as well.
Yeah. So for me, it's that I think that's one of the biggest differences is that, and that's again, I said I would. That's the reason why I lean towards the American church more. There's a lot of structure. There's a lot of like education. They're well educated. And again, most of the churches that I've been to, at least pastors or people who are in leadership, they've been through seminary. Like at least they are well prepared, you know. Now, there is a lot of knowledge in some others and not much of the spirit, which Hispanic countries are a lot about the spirit. You know, the spirit move.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I would say in this time, a lot of them are raising up, standing for the truth and standing for like, get to know the Bible more, get to, get more knowledge about the truth.
Yeah.
A lot of them are raising up in that now. But again, like coming from there, I know and I've experienced it because I've been a Christian since I was 13. It was that. It was a lot of, I went through this, this is what God says. You know, a lot of, this is my conviction.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you this is what God says. But is it though?
Yeah.
This is your conviction. So the fact that it worked for you doesn't mean that it really applies to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I had to go through that even in the American church to a degree because I was the pastor's kid, and then the tattooed kid as well.
I can only imagine, yeah.
Well, even like I love like metalcore, hardcore music, all that stuff. So like the first time I showed my parents that like they found out that I liked screamo music. And I actually originally it was only to witness to somebody. I didn't even like it personally. But like they were like, this is the devil's music.
You were surprised.
I was a rebel for sure. But and it's funny because my parents eventually came around to it because we had a touring Christian metal band stay at our house while they were on tour, and my parents got to meet them and talk to them, and they're like, okay, I can see how this is a ministry. But it was like they're those legalistic. We did a whole podcast with that guy Wayne Morgan we were talking about earlier, and we did it on legalism versus liberalism, where it's like there's two sides of that. Like, and Tony Evans did a sermon one time. He talked about like knowing God in spirit and in truth.
Yes.
Like it has to be a balance of like God's word and God's spirit,
Both,
because if you
yes.
have one without the other, it's out of balance.
I agree.
Because to know God's spirit and God's voice, you must know his word.
I agree,
Yeah.
100%.
So
I
yeah,
agree. I
and,
agree.
yeah,
Yeah, my
Yep.
parents were very against the tattoos, and then I brought Dan home, and then I kept showing
just
up with
showed up one
tattoos
day.
myself. Everyone's fine now.
Oh, man, okay,
Maybe I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they like me.
I was gonna say.
So, what are the most important lessons that the U.S. evangelical church can learn from the Hispanic church community?
I would say, bringing back what I just said, I think there's moments in which you should definitely like be okay with going past the 1 hour or the
Yeah.
1 hour and
Oh,
30
dude.
minutes.
Yeah.
You know, because there's like there's specific moments where things are happening that is God, and you
Yeah.
know it's God, and there's like a move of God. And I think because we have a structure here, we just cut that up.
Yeah.
Like we just it's like, hey, we need to wrap this up. You know.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and I think the American evangelical church could learn that
Yeah.
from the Hispanic or Dominican church.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to that, they don't play about it. It's like
Yeah,
they will tell people, it's like if you want to leave, but God is here right now.
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah,
stay.
yeah.
You know.
Uh-huh.
So I would definitely say because I've been in both places. I've
Yeah.
experienced both. I think that's something. Of course, not go to the extreme. I think one of the Bible verses, and I was reading it earlier, that I like the most is Paul is talking in 1 Corinthians 14, right? And this is how he ends the chapter, right? He says verse 39 and 40. He says, "Therefore, brethren, desire earnestly to prophesy, and do not forbid to speak with tongues," right? But then verse 40 says, "Let all things be done decently and in order." So I think because he's explaining about speaking in tongues and all of that over there, but what he's saying here is like desire to do this, like desire to prophesy, desire to like speak in tongues and all of this, desire that, but do everything decently and in order. I believe the Holy Spirit is a gentleman. I believe God, is an organized God, to put it that way. But I also wouldn't put God in a box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's huge. I mean, that's even with like, our church is like pretty hardcore about like right within the limits,
yeah.
But it's funny though, at the same time that like, I'm like, if I go over, because usually my sweet spot's usually about 20, 25 minutes
Yeah.
preaching.
Yeah.
But there's been times where I'm like, oh man, how long did I preach? And it was like 45.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well, again,
no.
I feel like it's a culture thing because
Yeah.
if we go to like Kenya or we went to Peru, it's like, well, we have time. Like, it's okay.
I know.
Let's let God work.
Yeah.
And then where we live, it's like, well, I have to go to the store after this, and now we're going to watch
Yes.
the game. I
Yes.
have work tomorrow. We got to do
Yes.
this,
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
It's just two different types of
cultures,
cultures.
for sure. Well,
Yeah.
and there also like, what about the aspect of like communal, like I don't know, like it seems like there is more of a focus on the community as far as like it being part of the family and
Yeah.
being more community focused as far as the Spanish church.
Yeah.
I've seen that from the DR, but I've also, like I told you, we have the Spanish church across the
Yes,
street,
yes, that one.
Rio de Vida, which we
Yeah.
have to get Pastor Max on here at some point. But dude, they meet. So we have a camera that's like on the front porch of that church, and I get notifications all the time. I'm like, man, they got service going on like every single night, and I love it. I'm
Yes.
just like, that's so cool.
Yeah, so in the Dominican, at least in the Dominican or like most Hispanics, church is not only on Sundays. Like,
Yeah.
we have church like 4 to 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And it's like Wednesdays is like women. They have their own service. And then
Yeah.
Friday is men. And then Tuesday is the youth, And then Sunday is everybody together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a lot of that. I think in the Hispanic church, or at least in the Dominican, when it says like you're the body of Christ, so you're like members of His body, or you need to be together. We do take that to heart, and at the same time, it's like in the world that we're living in now, the best thing you can do is to have community with other believers, because if you spend more time with like others out there, it's easy for you to just like stray away,
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, there's a lot of that I'm like, yeah, but like at least living here is like, yeah, but I also have a family that I want to spend time with.
Yeah.
I also have a job that I have to go to. I want to go to school. I have to invest
Yeah.
time. I have to do homework. There's a lot of that again, that part has hurt in a way, at least the Dominican church.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of churches over there where it's like, oh, you need to be here every day that we're here.
Yeah.
And that has hurt families. And that has, because it's like, where were you? Oh, I was at the church. yeah, but you knew like our kid had this game that we
Yeah.
were supposed to go, and it's a matter of like, oh, but God goes first and all of that. He goes first,
Yeah.
not the building church. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think we got it mixed up, this church thing where it's like God goes first. He does, not the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's God first, then you, like your family, like then your kids.
Yeah.
Your family is your first ministry.
Oh, amen to that.
And then ministry, and then the rest. But unfortunately, I've seen this, I've experienced it in the Dominican church. It's a lot of, oh no, I have to do this for the kingdom. I have to do this for God.
Yeah.
But then your kid doesn't see you for 6 days.
Yeah.
It's like you wake up early, you leave, he goes to school, he comes back, you're not there. By the time you come back, he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Like you don't see your family.
Yeah.
That's that, which is something I admire and respect and love from the American church.
Yeah.
The American church is big on like, I gotta go to my kids' game. Like
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
cover
That's
me.
what it is.
And
Yeah.
it hasn't always been that way too, because like I think my dad did a good job because I grew up as my dad was in full-time ministry for a good bit. But like you still see it in some churches, but it's like, yeah, like you said, it's got to be God, family, and then ministry,
Yeah.
because otherwise, like you're missing out on your greatest ministry impact.
You are,
and I've seen it where kids felt like neglected and they felt like they were on the back burner. And I wouldn't be in ministry today if it wasn't for the fact that my dad was really big about that.
Yes, and I have a lot of my friends like. And like how a lot of people say like, oh, pastor kids are like the worst or whatever.
Yeah, they can be.
They can be. I know some. I know some.
You got two right here. We're all just a hot mess. We all need therapy.
Oh, that's funny. But what I'm trying to say is because I've talked to a lot of them.
Yeah.
Is that I know why they are the way they are. I'm like, yo, like, why are you not more involved in the church or this? And they're like, because I grew up in the church.
Yeah.
And when they give me that answer, I'm like, but shouldn't that be different? He's like, no, I've seen things, I've heard things, but you know what I haven't seen? I haven't seen my dad come to me when I need him. Like on Sundays after service, everybody wants to talk to the pastor, but there is their kids. Dad, we're hungry. We want to go eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, you as a pastor, you have to take care of the sheep. But again, your first ministry is your family. You know what I'm saying? And I think there are boundaries that should be set, and people need to understand. Hey, he went out with his kids. Like, let's give him some time. Let's call him tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think personally that if you allow your pastor, if you go to a church, you're a member of a church, if you allow your pastor to spend more time with his family and to do the things that will help him most, you will get the best of him.
Oh yeah.
You will be the most benefit of, like, from that. Is that he's healthy with his family, that he's healthy spiritually, that he's healthy like physically. If he is, you are getting the best of it.
Yeah.
But watch him like build off this resentment. Because it's gonna be too late. When he finds out, or when he realizes it's been 10 years. And I don't remember last time I had an actual conversation with my son. And then you start thinking it was because of the church and and then church hurt. Comes from there, so there's a lot of that. So with me coming from the Hispanic, I really love that from the American, at least the ones I've seen. They're really big on family. They're really big on spending time with their kids. They're really big on being at their kids' games, and like they're really big at, hey, yes, I have Sunday off, but I have it off for me, but not for the church. Like I have it off for me to be with my kids, but I don't have it off to serve at the church because you need me to serve. So I respect and admire that.
I've learned that a lot. Like even with the black church, I grew up. My parents are black, but we have a church in the middle of a white area. So I think
in the middle of the woods.
In the middle of the woods. So I think they had to learn like. With black church, we had church all the time. Tuesdays, Wednesdays. We were there all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Came back to Monday, and we realized people were kind of like falling off. Like, hey, I got my kid's game. Hey, we're doing this, and then you notice that your parents are getting phone calls all the time because somebody died in the middle of the night. We need you to go to the hospital then, and it's like a lot. And then we try to add a second service, and then we were doing a lot. Now we were doing 2 services. I've never played the piano so much in my life. But then, and then after a while, it starts to like, okay, this probably isn't working. So it's like fluctuating of like, how do I balance this ministry and also my family? It's very interesting.
Yeah. That's something I've seen in this season of like ministry. Our lead pastor is really big on making sure people don't burn out, which is like hard for me because I've always operated on a certain level, especially with doing bivocational for so long that I'm like always go, go, go.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, hey, take some time and like rest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
I don't know if
Am
we're
I allowed to do that?
I don't know. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like, can other people in other countries rest and we're just, it's a culture thing, or I don't know. I feel like I was
would
sick
say
today.
a lot of it is a cultural thing.
You think it is?
Yeah, because again, in the Dominican church, it's like you need to be here.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in the DR, it was Tuesday we had to go on the neighborhoods and preach. Wednesday we had service. Thursday we had to go back to the neighborhoods. Friday we had service. We only had off. No, not even off. Saturday it was like the man, like the young man. Then Sunday we had service.
That's a lot.
I think Monday was the only day off.
That's your day off.
And I'm saying off because I was so in like go that even on Mondays I would go to the church and be there just in case they needed something. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, it's like that's what we're told. That's what we're taught. You know, in church.
Yeah.
If you're not in the church, then you're doing something out there that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
You know. But again, it's like no, I also have a family, or no, I also need rest, or no, I need to take some time off.
Yeah.
Yes, I will come to the services. Yeah. But I will not be in every service.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of that. I had to learn that when I was here in the States.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Learn to say no to things.
Learning to say no.
It's a hard one.
That's a hard one. When you're used to just say yes because you're, and I'll do this. You're obeying God.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you're obeying a man. You know what I'm saying?
Oof.
Obeying God. Yeah. Obeying God and that yes and that obedience. No, you're saying yes to the pastor that told you, hey, you need to preach, you need to play.
Yeah.
But then that's something you learn. When you say no, you take your life back.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you say yes so many times that there's a point that you don't have your life. You don't own your life and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
You know, because every time, Dan, can you do this? Yes, sir. Jasmine, can you play? Yes. And then it's too late and it starts taking a toll on you.
Yeah. You'll run yourself into the ground because I've been there.
Yeah, and that's that burnout culture, because you were kind of alluding to it before, as far as like if you want your ministers or your leaders to be able to pour into you, they have to be healthy.
They have to.
And I don't know what there's an expression, but it's something along the lines of like, you know, an empty cup can't pour into another.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that mindset of like, yeah, if you really care about being in a healthy church spiritually, then you need to make sure your leaders are also being fed and make sure that they're being taken care of. You know?
Yeah, I agree. And even with that, what you mentioned, like the cup, I just had like this right now. If you have this bottle of water, right, and then it runs out of it, you will try to pour without water, and then you start squishing it, which means you start hurting the bottle or hurting the person. Like because you want them to pour on you, but they got nothing to pour on you. You know what I'm saying? So like, if it has water, you don't have to squeeze it. It goes into it.
Dang.
But if there's none, you know how you like turn it?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what we do with ministries, like our ministers.
Deep.
You know?
That was good.
And I'm telling you, you mentioned it, and I looked at the bottom. I'm like, okay, I think, and I just had that right now. It's like
that was good.
You start doing that, and and then you come to see it, and it's just twisted, it's squeezed, and got nothing to give you. And then you want to pour, like you come to the realization, you want to pour back, and then because it's twisted and it's like this high now, then you're not filled up to the full capacity. You know what I'm saying? And then you just give whatever you got. So that's that.
Wow.
I felt like preaching. I felt like preaching there. Okay.
This is really good.
I felt like preaching there, you know? Oh, man.
So, one thing we do is we always ask a guest from the previous guest ask a question, and then we have you ask a guest, or the next guest a question. My brain is not working at this point in the night. So the previous guest asked, are you a Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox person?
I would say I am a Nintendo person. And I'm just going to say that because as a kid, I used to play like Nintendo 64. And that was like first one I ever had.
Yeah.
Then as a kid, I did something that I shouldn't, and then my grandma corrected me, and it was bad. She beat me up, and then she corrected me with with the hard stuff or whatever.
We know you're Dominican.
You know you have an idea how that went.
We know.
But it was my fault. It was my fault. I remember going to her and asking her for money from my mom. My mom never told me to ask her money. But it was like, oh, grandma, mom said to send her some money. To send her some money to buy stuff to make dinner. I get the money. I go spend it at this place by my house where they had Nintendo stuff. I spent 2 hours playing Nintendo. Then spent the money and went to my mom's And I stay there. We go back home, and my grandma asked my mom, "Hey, Beauty, like, why are you making for dinner?" And my mom was like, "I'm not making anything for dinner. There's nothing to make for dinner." It's like, no, Mailon came here and asked me for money. Wait, she caught me.
Oh my goodness.
The worst thing of that was that not only did she like corrected me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
She took me to the place and told the guy that he needed to give me the money back.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? The guy was like, no, but like he was here for 2 hours. Give him the money back. He had to give me the money back. You can only imagine how ashamed I was to walk
never
by.
do that again.
No, I never played again. That's the thing.
You never played that.
I never played.
No.
Yeah, I think I can count two times ever since that I play, and I don't even know how to play. I don't even know how to hold the control. I sit there, I just hit the stuff. I don't know.
She knocked it out of you.
She knocked it out of me.
The video game spirit was rebuked
out of you. I rebuked out of you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then yeah. So like Nintendo 64, that was like Mario Bros was like my thing. Playing Mario Bros.
Oh.
That was like my thing. But yeah, that's why I would say it was a Nintendo. You gotta love Mario. Yeah.
Right now they're into Sonic.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
So what is your question for the next guest on our podcast?
I'll make an easy one. So, me talking about being cold earlier and stuff like that. Do you prefer winter? I would put it this way. Do you prefer snow, winter, or do you prefer the summer or being hot?
There you go.
I asked my students that
That's a
question
good one.
the other day.
Yeah.
They all said summer.
Yeah, I don't know. After being in Pennsylvania most of my life, I'm like, kind of want to move south. So
I like
done with
winter for
winter.
Christmas. I like that little week where it's cold for Christmas and then it needs to leave.
Yeah, no. For me, I don't like cold at all. Again, my first 20 years of life, it was 85 degrees.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not this. And these past 2 weeks were not it.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. No, it's so crazy.
It's a bad winter.
It's so crazy because like it was so cold in this past week that I think last Saturday, I think it was like 45 degrees.
Yeah, it was nice.
No, I was saying, oh, this is nice. I never thought I was gonna say that about 45 degrees. I get to like work and I'm like, oh, it's nice. How is it 45 degrees?
Yes.
I never thought.
I walked out with a t-shirt.
No, because again, when I moved here, I came from 85 to 36. Now, mind you, at 36 degrees 7 years ago, I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
But it's been so cold that at 45 degrees,
bad.
I'm saying it's nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, do you prefer cold or do you prefer being hot? That's the question now.
Heck yeah. Before we go, I wanted to have you explain the Dominican flag. You were talking about it earlier. So what's the significance of the crest in the middle of the flag?
Yeah, so if you guys have seen the Dominican flag, you see the center crest. And so it's huge for us because in the center of the crest, we have a Bible open. And it's open in the verse that is in John 8:32. That says, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So our founding fathers, they fought for independence, and they always said that if you know the truth, if you know history, you will never repeat it again. You know, that's something they said. And so it says in the top, there's 3 words. It says God first. That's something that we're big on, like God first, or like believing that the Dominican Republic is a faith-based country. You know, like we believe in God and all of that. So we go God, and we go homeland, and then we go freedom. So we're big on that. And I was telling you guys that I was just in Guatemala in November. And I saw like they have this little flags, and like I saw the Dominican, I'm like, oh, the Dominican flag, and I went and saw it, but it didn't have the crest over there. So I did tell the guy like, hey, that's the Dominican flag. Yeah. But what makes it, you know, the thing that we love and the thing that we defend, is the crest because of what it says. So yeah, it says God, homeland, freedom, and we have it open in John 8:32 in the center of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, follow-up question, because I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because I always see, whenever I see Dominican people driving around, they always have the Dominican flag from there. But, you know, and I was thinking, interesting experience. So driving in the DR is a little bit crazy.
You know it is.
Oh, it is. Although I have to say, Peru is definitely crazier, to be honest.
Real?
Oh, dude, it's nuts.
I need to go.
I have stories. But how was it transitioning from seeing driving in the DR to driving in the U.S.?
Okay. So one one thing is
Stop signs?
Obeying stop signs?
No, stop signs, red lights. What is that? You know,
Those were
That's what I'm
suggestions
assuming.
in the
Because when we
DR.
went to Peru, it was like, where is the direction?
yes. So like that. Well, first thing is like, here's a stop sign. You stop because most likely you'll find a police officer turning the corner that will pull you over. Red light, you stop. Like here, you have to follow the law. You have to follow the rules of driving. In the Dominican, as you said, they're just suggestions. They're just there. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because it's like I drove there before I moved here. Then I am here and I'm driving here. I'm like, people actually follow these things.
We don't want to die.
Now, mind you, this is like any place outside of New York City.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that.
Because New York City's a little bit different.
New York City is a little bit different. Now, but then I went back to the Dominican to visit. I remember, and I'm driving there, and I felt that even more. Because like if you're coming from there, that's all you know. But when you experience different, and you go back to what you know, then it hits you different. You know, because it's like. No, because now in my mindset, I'm like, I've been driving so much, like following the law, that now I'm here and I am stopping at a stop sign. I am stopping at a red light, and then I see all these motorcycles jumping like they don't want to leave. They don't want to be alive. They want you to live alive. I'm telling, and then every time I go there, as soon as I get to the airport, I gotta switch. I gotta
that's hard.
switch it because I'm like. I'm back in my country. And in
You're
order
going
for me
to
to
jail.
survive, yes. In order for me to survive, I have to drive the way they drive. Like I have to be aggressive. That's the thing. And I was there. I remember I was there October this past year, and I'm there whatever. And I remember like everybody's just going crazy. I'm like, okay. I'm going. And then I just went,
It's so scary.
Dominican mode initiated.
Usually, like when we're in a
Dominican mode
different country, I have to close my eyes because I'm like, wait, why aren't we stopping? Like, everyone's just like,
it's so funny because when I lived there, and even like living here, but going with like missionary teams, every time we're there, I'm like, hey guys, just letting you know. If you're really sensitive or you get scared like really quick, don't look through the window. Like, if you're in the bus and we're driving to like the city where we're going to. Don't look at distance because you will see things that you will not believe. You know, and it's gonna be scary. And don't try to drive or ride nothing here unless you go with a Dominican. Because most likely you will get hurt.
Yeah. No, I actually have on my like promo video on our website. Part of one of the clips on the top of the website is me on the back of a motorcycle with Miss IO.
Oh, with Miss IO. Oh, that's so cool.
And it was so funny because like you'd see stuff, especially with like the like mopeds and motorcycles, where you'd like I saw a guy with an entire grill, like a cooking grill on the back of a motorcycle, and I'm like, wait, what?
I believe it. Like when you start seeing like in a motorcycle, 5 people.
Oh my gosh.
It looks insane.
That's very illegal in America.
Oh, and plus the 5 people, you have a baby.
I was about to say, one of them is a baby, too.
One of them is a baby. So, like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? So, you see that, and it's like, y'all should be in jail. But for us, this is
completely
what I
normal.
see. I've seen that my whole life. So, for me, this is like, this is normal. I don't know what, what is not. But then I'm in the States, and I'm like, oh, I understand why it's not.
You're like, definitely can't do this in the U.S.
Oh, no, I will go to jail quick.
No, definitely.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us, and we're super excited to have you here. And then next week we'll be back for episode 23. No idea what it's going to be about. And so, funny story also before we close. Yeah. Last week we actually recorded an episode. We spent like 50 minutes recording it.
It was trash.
We literally were sitting here
before we started.
It was an episode where it looked good and sounded good in my head. And then by the end of the episode, we were both like, yeah, we're not posting this online.
It was so bad.
It was not good.
So we just waited for you to come.
Yeah, we were like, this is a sign that we need to get guests back on the podcast. And so
I'm excited to be here. When you texted me, I'm like, oh yeah, I will be there. It would be an honor, and I'm honored to be here. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. Well, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week on Speaking Through the Gray.